Lando Norris says that his new McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri has been pushing him more in the opening races of the 2023 season than his former teammate Daniel Ricciardo did over the previous 2 years. Well, given Piastri's relative F1 experience levels, I would have to say that Piastri is looking like a potential future star. Who between the two McLaren drivers do you think has greater potential? Well, then stay tuned as we dig deeper into the war brewing between the two teammates. Piastri joined McLaren after prevailing in a battle for his services with Alpine. This was after they had reached an agreement with Ricciardo to end his stay with the team a year early. This was due to Ricciardo's struggles to adapt to the tricky-to-drive McLaren and his inability to match Lando's performance in his 2 seasons at the team. McLaren always spoke highly of Ricciardo's professionalism, and Piastri has already matched that. Norris said that their working relationship with Piastri is similar to that he had with Ricciardo. The McLaren lead driver also said that Piastri is showing signs of significant speed. How I worked last year and how I worked with Daniel is not too different. It's not like too many things change. Norris said this when asked about the difference between working with Piastri and Ricciardo. There's maybe a bit more providing the knowledge of how we were in previous years to look at the development from last year to this year, and things like that. Apart from that, you both give the story of what's going on with the car and what you want from the car, which aligns very well. I wouldn't say we have the same driving style, but our comments and complaints are generally always the same. So I think that's a good thing. He's a lovely guy, down to earth, a normal guy, a worker, so it's good fun. Different, I guess, to Daniel. I feel like a bit of a contrast of Australian character, but still good fun. He's very fast at the same time, so he's probably been pushing me a little bit more than in the past couple years, Norris added. Lando Norris has had a clear advantage over Piastri, out-qualifying him in 4 out of 5 sessions. His only qualifying defeat came in Saudi Arabia, where he sustained a front wing damage in a scrape with Pierre Gasly in Q1 while exiting Turn 2, making him unable to continue. In the Baku sprint race qualifying session, Piastri was just 0.032s slower than Norris despite being eliminated in SQ2. The gaps have been larger in the regular qualifying sessions though, but Piastri's underlying pace has looked good, and he had the potential to be closer in several of those sessions. To compare that with Ricciardo, last year, Norris's average advantage was 0.355%, while this year with Piastri, it is 0.313%. Piastri has only finished ahead of Norris once. Norris enjoyed his position as the undisputed king of McLaren for most of the previous 2 years, as Ricciardo withered away and had to readjust to a very different driving technique all of a sudden. Having been the golden boy, Piastri has been a close match for Norris for most of the year, a situation that Ricciardo rarely achieved. When you factor in the fact that Piastri is a rookie who is still settling in at McLaren, his performances amount to a very promising start. There are very few question marks about Piastri's history. The Australian won the 2019 Formula Renault Euro Cup before winning the Formula 3 title for the first time in 2020. Rising into Formula 2 in 2021 should have proven a stickier subject than it did, but Piastri blasted through that barrier with ease as well, comfortably beating Robert Schwartzman to the title. A seat in F1 looked unlikely, meaning an awkward year on the sidelines, unable to race in F2 after winning the title at his first attempt. But a lifeline opened up as Fernando Alonso ditched Alpine to join Aston Martin, making Piastri the obvious choice after enjoying Alpine's backing through the junior categories. But bizarrely, Piastri turned his back on Alpine. By good luck, his manager and Mark Webber had already secured him a seat at McLaren. At the start of the year, the MCL60 was among the worst cars on the grid, as it was outright slow. However, the upgrades on the MCL60 in the past few races could have potentially made it the second quickest car on the grid, giving Norris and Piastri far more opportunity to showcase their talents, as borne out by Norris's 2 podium finishes in Silverstone and a strong recovery to 7th at Spa. Up until now, Piastri's rookie season has earned him well-deserved praise for his maturity on the track, highlighted by his impressive back-to-back top 5 finishes in recent races. After his impressive performance at the Hungarian Grand Prix, where he demonstrated remarkable composure and held the second position for the first 18 laps, McLaren's CEO, Zak Brown, praised the 22-year-old driver. However, as the race progressed, he encountered difficulties with tyre degradation, leading to a 5th-place finish. Despite this setback, Piastri's determination was evident in a pivotal moment during the race when he radioed the team. He expressed his eagerness to push harder and potentially overtake Lando, but at the same time he showed a willingness to adhere to the team's strategy and conserve if necessary. This instance showcased Piastri's straightforward nature and open communication style, highlighting his readiness to embrace challenges while still respecting the team's decisions. Norris and Piastri share a dynamic relationship on and off the track. As teammates, they frequently encounter moments of friendly rivalry and mutual admiration for each other's skills. And what happened at Hungary was a show of exceptional team play. Piastri's eagerness to become better than Lando is evident. However, he doesn't want to settle for matching with only him. Piastri himself has set himself the goal of beating Lando on a more regular basis by the end of his rookie season, something that would certainly put a halt to the career reputation that the British driver has built up. I don't want to just be close to Lando. Of course, I want to try and beat him. It's not an easy task. I think we all know how good Lando is, but I don't want to just settle there. It's been nice to be so close, but until you're beating your teammate, you're always going to feel like there's more to come, Piastri said. Tellingly, Piastri doesn't feel like he needs to do a whole lot differently in order to keep up his strong rookie season. His approach has worked wonders in the junior categories, and his cool, methodical approach has made this year perhaps the most assured rookie season for any driver since perhaps Lewis Hamilton in 2007. As it stands, there are no obvious weaknesses on Piastri's end. Combine his strengths with the worldliness and intelligence of his manager Mark Webber, and there's no telling how far Piastri might be able to go. Piastri also said this: "I've tried to keep the same approach for the whole year, even when we were struggling towards the back versus being at the front now. The motivation, of course, gets a boost when you're fighting for trophies, but the hard work and the way of going about things is still the same. Try and get the most out of the car, out of myself. That's no different whether you're fighting for 3rd or 15th. It's just the prize you get at the end is a bit nicer, so I don't think I'll change. Of course, I'll reflect on it and see if there's anything I should change or could be better. But I think on the whole, I've been quite happy with how I approach things, and I think I'll keep that." Of course, while Norris may be Piastri's short-term target, it's Verstappen who eventually will be toppled by someone else. Having raced a driver younger than him for a race win for the first time in Belgium, might Piastri be the one to eventually halt the Dutch driver's relentless winning? That would really kill the ego of a man like Verstappen, don't you think? In conclusion, all these comparisons reflect the performance over a full race or qualifying session, but Piastri has very often given nothing away to Norris through a wide range of corner profiles. As experience builds, he will start to join those dots of performance and avoid the odd error here and there that stretches the gap. That will be what Norris is referring to as pushing me more, and the fact that he's made a very promising start and has shown signs that he could be a genuine threat to Norris on pace as the season progresses. But that's all assuming that McLaren stays where they are, close to, but not quite at the very top. With a possibility of podiums, and potentially even wins, will the harmony between Norris and Piastri continue? After all, Piastri has shown a remarkable level-headed coolness no matter what's thrown at him. He handled the pressures of leading in Belgium with ease, while Norris fell into a negative spiral as his Sunday race fell apart early on before his eventual recovery. Well, let's wait and see. For now, share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for the latest videos. See you next time, and bye for now.